Good morning.
Good morning.
Dr. Mary, it's getting a little bit chilly out here.
It's not. Tomorrow I'm going to wear my coat, I think.
I fear that our days of filming in the sunroom are concluding. I think we'll get to 60 tomorrow, not degrees, episodes. And then we might have to find an indoor location.
Oh, that was fun.
Yeah. Well, this will be, I think episodes 61 through 65 will be welcome to various areas in our home. That'll be an added bonus to Daily Dose.
We'll try and put some art in the background.
That won't be hard. Okay. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
We are shaking it up because that's the kind of super fun people we are. 2 weeks in, and it's already time to change our schedule because our guest this week, you'll find out when he comes tomorrow, couldn't come today. You'll find out why. So today is Challenge Thursday instead of Challenge Friday, which is actually pretty okay. And this is inspired by a post that I read the other day on Facebook from Ryan Nitschke, the head chef at Luna and co-owner with Nikki Berglund of Soul Avenue in Moorhead, and all around excellent, phenomenal, and inventive chef that he is.
Yes, he is.
Nice
guy too.
And a nice guy. And has a one of my favorite tattoos. It's how you it's the meat parts of a pig.
Oh, that's right.
So I don't want to eat it, but I like to look at it. It's a really interesting tattoo. Someday we'll have Ryan on to show his tattoo. Actually, we won't have Ryan on because Ryan would hate to do this. Ryan's thing is not to be in front of a camera. So someday I'll have Ryan take a picture of his pig tattoo and we'll go from there. Anyway, Ryan posted this thing about how, yes, it was damaging to independent restaurants and the restaurant and bar industry in general when we shut down in April and May. But that the additional problem is us diners. You know, we send food back because we've ordered it a certain way. For instance, you order a steak and you tell the server that you want it medium or you want it well done, and then you complain that it's tough when it comes back. Well, that's your fault, not theirs, but they have to eat the cost of that steak. Or you expect that because chain restaurants give you a free entree on your birthday, so will an independent restaurant. Or name your thing, which is ridiculous because their margins are so small. So this was about, if you're going to go out to eat, support local restaurants, which Dr. Mary and I, you know, that's a huge thing for us, support local. But also tipping. Who watching this is a 10 to 15% tipper? Because I'm here to tell you that is not enough. If you can afford to go out to eat, you darn well better add a real tip. Real tip.
If you're sitting there thinking, well, 15% is adequate, or someone actually said it's, you know, that's kind of like an unwritten law that you should do 15%. I was in Burney's a few weeks ago. It was actually the first week that they mandated that you wear a mask in there when they reopened the.
Oh, that was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
But there was this butt that came in without a mask, and he was asked quite incredibly politely that he should be wearing a mask. They served him anyway and said not again. But he came out with, well, the state of North Dakota hasn't mandated you wear a mask. He was a complete butt. And if you think 15%'s enough, then by definition, you're a butt too.
Hey, let's not kick the tripod in disgust.
So I don't want to hear anyone sitting there going, well, 15%'s enough. It's not.
Okay.
There you go.
So that's Dr. Mary's
Dr. Mary's rant for the
firm commitment to more than 15%.
You can have a Thursday rant.
That's true. But we have a challenge for you that I actually think is a really interesting challenge. So you know that alcohol is where a lot of restaurants make okay money because you can charge a lot of money for alcohol because people will pay it. So if you are like us and one of you is no longer drinking any alcohol and one of you drinks I probably...
You don't often have wine with your dinner, and if you do, you just have one most of the time, unless it becomes a longer evening for out with friends.
Right. But I really have sort of stopped ordering alcohol at restaurants too, and we've talked about that. We love that Luna has mocktails, and other places do too.
Oh, they're good.
So here's our challenge to you. If and when you are going out to eat, go to independent restaurants. Not that the servers and other people at chain restaurants don't also need your support, but they need it differently, and they need it to a lesser extent than people working at independent restaurants. So go independent, go local, and then pay your 20% tip, and on top of that, add the cost of the alcohol you didn't drink to the tip.
Good challenge.
So if you are an $11 a glass wine drinker, then your tip better be 20% plus $11. If you're a $6 beer drinker, 20% plus the $6. You don't have to do it if you were a 5 beer drinker person and now you're a no beer drinker person. You don't have to do $30. But
the math of the tip in the first place would be easier if you haven't had 5 beers.
That's true.
Just a warning.
That's true. But also just this idea of you would have spent that money, you used to spend that money, give that money to your server. Here's what I can tell you. When you go to independent restaurants, you get known by that staff because that staff's turnover tends to be less than at chain restaurants. And there's fewer of them because they tend to be smaller restaurants. You get to know that staff and they get to know you. For instance, at Luna, almost every server knows that I really don't like ice in my water glass. So they almost always bring me a pitcher of water that has no ice in it. That is customer service to above and beyond degrees. So give them those tips. It's good for them. It makes you feel good. And guess what? You get exceptional service when they know that you are somebody who's taking care of them. It's a great pay it forward kind of thing. And again, if you can afford to eat out, then add this extra amount to your server's tip. You'll never be sad that you supported a server because many of them are working their way through school, or many of them have made this their career. And it's a really challenging career, particularly in a community of this size. Don't do it.
And they were the ones who were worst hit. If you hear the figures about the unemployed, it was people in the service industry that mostly lost their positions. So
our challenge to you this weekend, as one of the last beautiful weekends of the season probably, go find a local restaurant and add the price of 1 beer, 1 mixed drink, 1 glass of wine to your server's tip in addition to 20% of your total. It's the right thing to do. And it's a cool way to spend that money on alcohol without the downsides of drinking alcohol. So that's it. We'll see you tomorrow with our second guest.
If that does trouble you, just one more. Just think of it as the price of an Uber ride home. Drive and the money for the Uber you give to your server.
I'm sorry for the Uber driver who doesn't need to get used, but
then,
we can't save everybody on one challenge.
And then we'll work on Uber drivers in a couple of weeks. We'll have to challenge ourselves.
We'll see what we can do about that. Have a great Thursday, and we'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Bye.